What's up guys, it's El.P here. So being it's a festive season, one of the major traveling seasons in Kenya, even probably I think around the world. So I thought about giving you guys some small tips and checks you can do on your car by yourself at home before your road trip or your journey. So here, let's go. From the front of the engine, the things you need to check are the simplest ones are one, your washer fluid. This one you just and top it up with normal water, tap water or whatever. Some people have usually distilled water, but you don't really have to. Next thing you need to check is your brake fluid. This one it's a rubber. Just pull it up. It usually has the name of what it is and the kind of liquid you should put here. So that's that, and it has marking on the plastic bottle for full, for maximum and minimum. So all you need to do is just top it up when it drains, but top it up with the correct fluid that's been written on top over here, so that you have the best performance of your brakes. Next thing is your engine oil. Your engine oil, this first reservoir here is just for topping up your engine oil when you're doing a service or when your engine level is low. To check your engine level, you usually have your dipstick here. It usually is denoted with a bright color like yellow, green or something. So just pull it out, wipe with normal tissue, put it back in all the way to the bottom, then pull it out again and check. They usually denoted parts here that tell you if the minimum mark and the maximum mark. It will either be a dot, it will be a number, it will be a dent on the dipstick. So just check and see where your oil is, and if it's low, if it's on the lower part, top it up. If it's on the higher part, that's okay. And if it's too dirty, it's time for you to change your oil. Like this one, when you go for service, it will need an engine oil change. Coming on this other side, you have your reservoir for your coolant, and you have your bottle top. Let me say bottle top. The bottle top for your coolant, where you usually top it up with coolant. So if your car is hot or it's been running, don't open it. You'll have yourself a very nasty injury, because the engine is usually pressurized, and when you open it, it will shoot out all the coolant and it will burn you because it's really hot.
Oh my god!
So don't open your top up pot, but wait for your car to cool. And if you're topping up your coolant and you don't know which coolant was used before, don't buy any shelf coolant anywhere and put. Just use regular water or distilled water, and that will be good enough for your car until the next time you go to your mechanic, and they'll change the whole system for you so that you know which coolant you're using, or you can ask them to know which coolant you're using. Next thing is your batteries. For batteries, check for any dirt or anything. Usually develop some white-ish kind of dust around the terminals. So I think you can do with that. You just use hot water, pour on the top, clean it with something, and move it around so it can have a bit of friction on the terminals, so it can have better contact. And that's as much as you need to do with your batteries. If your batteries are dead, usually an indicator. It can tell you what it is. If they're the ones to be charged, to be recharged, take it to your mechanic. They'll know what to do with it, or you can just end up buying a new one if it's totally kaput. Lastly, something you can check, this one is more of a level 2 for most people, to check your air filter. It's usually somewhere you can access it easily. You just pop up these tabs like this, pop your air filter and check. So for ours, it's still kind of new, but it just needs to be dusted a bit. Either use pressurized air to blow off the dust and put it back. If it's really bad and dirty or torn, it's time for you to get a new air filter. Another thing to check before I leave the engine are your belts. Most cars usually have just one belt these days that runs everything. That runs your alternator, your coolant pumps, and so many other things. Just look at your belt and see if there are any cracks on the belt or any shows of wear. If you see that, please check with the mechanic and have it changed. But don't get out and go for a journey with a cracked or chipped belt. You'll find yourself stranded, and this is one of the things you didn't want happening to you in the middle of nowhere. Next thing to check are your tires. Check your pressure. Pressure will influence many things like your your wear pattern and your fuel economy. So check that in your owner's manual, or check with the mechanic to get how much pressure you should have with the loads and without loads. Most cars usually have 32 to about 36 psi. So next the other thing is to see your treads. Are your treads wearing the same? Like, is one side more worn than the other? And check all four, because all four tires will wear differently. Next thing is, the other thing, check the depth. Do you still have ridges on your tires? If the ridges are not there, and you can feel that these things over here, they're like bumps. Let me call them bumps. These bumps over here is how I check if tires are really over. If you can put your hands across and it's a flat line on those bumps, just know it's about time for you to change your tires. And being that tires are your contact patch to road, they're your first safety on the road. So if you don't have tire and if you don't have grip on the road, just know you're preparing yourself for a very nasty accident. Well, a few things I think you should have in your boot are two lifesavers. This is actually a law to have this in Kenya. So if you don't really have it, police usually check them and you might get yourself in issues. Next thing you need to have is check if you have your spare wheel tools. So like your jack winch, your wheel spanner, and lastly your tow hook. This will help you when you get stuck, or when your car breaks down fully, you need to be towed away or pulled away. So this will help. And it's better having it all in one pack like this to keep them safe and in one place. Lastly, some cables. You need to have cables inside your car, either jumper cables or whatever. This is just regular electricity cable and they work perfect. Lastly, check your spare wheel. Check it has pressure, if it has issues, go and inflate it and have it there ready for any kind of emergency. If you don't have a puncture, then you don't have a spare wheel and you're stuck there looking crazy. So the next thing to check is your lights. Your lights, and the best way to do this is with somebody else, or if you're alone, you can put your phone and record what's happening. So start your car, then put on your parking lights, then put in your DRLs if you have them, and put in your fog lights, check your indicators, check your high beams and normal beam, and go to the back too, do the same. Put your kind reverse and see if your reversing lights are there on both sides, if they're on both sides, and see if your brake lights are there, and when your parking lights are on, is there lights too at the rear. So check all that so to make sure you are good to go and visible on the road at night. If you've come this far already, go ahead and subscribe, and if you like such content, go ahead and comment down below so I get to know what kind of things you guys want me to talk about cars. And if you like the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Yeah, it will help me know you like the video so I can continue removing such content for you guys. Oh, and don't forget to share with your cool friends. Cheers, guys.